accelerate the evolution of your own life by overcoming the obstacles that are keeping you from getting to the part of the multiverse that you want to exist in. That's the first thing. And as you're doing that, the second part of it should be trying to help other people around you overcome the obstacles that are keeping them chained down in the harbor of sorrows, as I call it.
Yes.
And if you can start doing that, then the moment you start moving and the moment you free yourself from the guilt and the shame, then I have noticed that when I apply myself and work really hard, synchronicities increase by like tenfold for some reason.
Yes.
Coincidences start happening.
Yes.
Things start happening that normally never happen to me.
Yeah.
And I think this is like, I think coincidences are like novelty sparks that are a result of you like hammering at like a metaphysical anvil, which is you're trying to work on your life, and the more you start doing that, all of a sudden these sparks start flying.
A byproduct.
There you go, and it's synchronicity, and that's the deal, man. You want those synchronicities.
Yes.
You want the novelty.
Yes.
You know. Can I do something real quick for your viewers?
Yeah.
This week, you guys are going to experience some of the most incredible synchronicities of your life. Wait till you see what happens. And those of you who are pessimistic, it's going to happen to you triple. And you're not going to like it, but you're going to be forced to deal with it. And you're going to wonder why it happened. You're going to wonder. You're not going to understand why it happened. You won't want it to happen. And I can tell you in my rudimentary understanding of why that shit happens. Do you want to hear why it happens?
I loved your spark theory, but yes.
So here's the idea, man. We're talking about your fucking nervous system is assembling infinite numbers of variables to form reality. That's what your nervous system does. So out of all this disharmony surrounding you, your eyes and your ears and your skin and your mouth, all of it is mechanisms through which the universe pours into your nervous system. Your nervous system transmutes that into the experience of reality. So this is an ultimate harmonizing effect. Your nervous system is taking infinite variables. A lot of them are getting shut out. A lot of them are getting completely closed out because it has to close them out. But the ones who make it in there, they get assembled in the form of right now, you're doing a podcast, your name's Pete Holmes, and you're in a comic book shop, you're talking to some weirdo with a beard, you're experiencing a variety
You're
of
reminding me of mushrooms. When I take mushrooms, a lot of that goes away. In fact, all of that goes away. Keep going, though.
So this assembly mechanism, so basically what this assembly mechanism is, or what's really happening, is you are, when you look out into the universe, seeing a projection of your heart. You're seeing a projection of what's inside of you. And so it's like what we have in the universe is a screen, and a screen is composed of infinite numbers of variables, and your will and your karma and your ideas of life are projecting reality out onto the world and forming it into this thing. If you got a speck of dust on a projector, if you got a speck of dust on a projector, then that speck of dust, this tiny little thing, when projected onto a screen, would look much bigger than it was and would be fucking up the entire movie because this one little speck of dust is stuck on it. And so what happens is people, they begin to attack the dust on the screen, and they get rid of the job, or you get out of the relationship, and guess what happens? The exact same thing happens again. The exact same pattern forms again. The exact same thing keeps reoccurring in their life because they're trying to fix the exterior universe. They're trying to remove the projection of the dust on the screen instead of going into themselves and fucking cleaning the dust out from within their hearts. And the moment you start doing that, you see harmony everywhere, and that's what synchronicities are. And that's what harmony is. You're just seeing a projection of the harmony that innately exists inside of you. Yeah. You are harmony. If you have a human body, which, if you don't have a human body and you're listening to that, call me, contact me immediately. I want to talk to you. But if you have a human body, God, Jesus, all you are is harmony. You are the perfect.
Right. You were saying if someone gave you the keys to your body,
you'd die immediately.
You couldn't do it. You couldn't regulate your heart, your lungs, your nerves, everything.
No.
It's too many things happening in perfect harmony.
Perfect, pure synchronicity. So when you hear people say coincidences are bullshit, it's like, well, you're a walking coincidence. You're a walking synchronicity. You emerge from the ultimate mystery. We don't even know what it is. We don't know why it happened. We don't even understand. We speculate. But you are a product of the most insane series of harmonious events that have ever happened. So you're a walking synchronicity. There's no way out of it.
I don't know how much time and effort and reading and pondering and meditating and sharing and conversing, that sentence was a beautiful synchronicity, or paragraph.
That was
amazing.
It all is, man. And once you start realizing that, then you start feeling novelty again. Novelty is the original state. And once you start feeling that, man.
Well, that is interesting. The idea of novelty is very interesting to me. Kids feel novelty because everything's new.
Yep.
I remember one of my fondest memories was I was just walking across the street and I was in my bathing suit with some friends. My neighbor had a pool and it just started raining. And I remember thinking, oh, this is perfect. It's like a pool from the sky. And we just ran around in the rain.
Oh, that's cool.
And that was the best thing. That was one of the best days of my life.
Yeah.
And since then, I spend lots of money and cars and headaches and trying to get to some retreat or something, like trying to just get back to how I felt running around in the rain.
We all do.
It's very difficult.
We all want to get back there, man. It's not even the problem is like placing, like saying get back there is a confusion because it's not. It's right. It's with you right now.
Take it one step deeper, and this is where you get into the land of the mystics like Meister Eckhart and a lot of the people who identify that there is what appears to be a tide or a force in the universe that is a healing force. So if you cut your arm, then you don't even have to think about it. Your arm just heals itself. That's what it does. There's a healing force in your body. This is undeniable. That's not hippy-dippy bullshit. All of Western and Eastern medicine is based on trying to understand how to accelerate that healing force in your body, or to create conditions within which that healing force can function at the highest level. So if there's a healing force in your body, there's a lot of people say that there's actually a healing force in the universe itself, and that you can see this when a thing dies in the forest, for example, and the body decomposes and becomes soil that new life can grow out of. You can see that the universe is always expressing itself, at least on this planet, in the form of life after life after life. And so there's this idea that there is a healing force in the universe, or another way to put it is a force of connectivity, a connective impulse in the universe. And that if you surrender to that connectivity completely and decide that that's the team that you're going to start playing on, then that's when all of a sudden, instead of having to go and pick up girls, all of a sudden you'll find yourself in some weird way running into a girl that is like the perfect girl for you at whatever time in your life you happen to be in. And that kind of stuff starts happening again and again and again and again. And these are the synchronicities that people talk about. Because really all that's happening is you're tuning in on the force that harmonizes complexity. And you're deciding, all right, I'm going to, as much as I can, not be trapped in my own self anymore, but I'm going to let go to this, what this is. And then that's when you just start, everything really does just work out much better for you once you do that for some reason.
This is why I love the fucking multiverse theory. I love the idea that we exist in a place where every single possible event is happening at once. It's all happening in one great eternal burst of happeningness, and that you can shift yourself from different nodes of where you are now to more desirable nodes of the multiverse, to places that you want to be. And that's what goals are. You know, having a goal is a form of visualizing the specific node of the multiverse that you would like to be existing in, and the contrast between that place and where we currently are. And it's like a grappling hook that you're throwing through infinity, and it lands at this place that you can visualize, and then you kind of pull yourself to that place. So the idea is like these fucking movements through the multiverse, as you move towards what you want to become, I feel like a symptom that you're moving towards this new universe that's possible for everyone is that synchronicities start happening. In the same way that, like, when you're in a boat, you can see ripples in the water. And when you begin to really focus and move towards a place that you want to be, regardless of whatever the fuck that place is, if you really start working and going in that direction, that's when the juju starts happening. Weird coincidences, strange fucking moments that you consider like, man, the probability of that happening is so incredibly fucking low. There's no way that that could happen, and it's quite often absurd, but it still fills you with a momentary sense of novelty. This kind of like, wow. this place is pretty fucking cool. I would love to, like, as much as possible, more and more move in the direction of being a conduit for whatever the energy is in the universe that makes harmonious events happen. The more I move in the direction of this state of consciousness that a lot of people I really respect seem to have completely gotten into, or the more I even consider moving in that direction, the more things like that seem like kind of like I'm making it up. You know, like, oh, well, I want to do this and that and this thing and that, and I'd like to go here and I'd like to see this, and I'd love to write a book, and I'd love to like travel, and I'd love to like experience material indulgences, and I'd love to like get my hands on some like really clean acid and go to the desert, and I'd love to like have a flotation tank, and so many things I could think of that I'd love to do that are just are irrelevant compared to that incredible, beautiful experience when you see the greater synchronicity of the universe manifest in front of you. Like when you were talking about how you're for like an hour, when you went to scatter your father's ashes for an hour, you had sunlight when it was just raining, when it was just...
It's unexplainable. It's the moments when it all turns exactly the way it needs to be.
Yeah.
And you get a little help.
But that moment, that feeling that gives you...
Yeah.
That feeling is...
It's all connected. Relax.
And you can't...
It's under control.
Yes. And you can't buy that feeling.
No.
That feeling is not obtainable with money. That feeling is... You can't get that. But that thing is like, to me, is so much more satisfying than any other success I've ever experienced or anything. Because that feeling is... You don't even know what it is. You don't have a way to articulate it.
But it goes back to one of the things your mother said, because I said the holding.
Yeah,
I thought that described it so perfectly. Because I think I've probably experienced that twice in my life.
Yeah, man. I mean,
and it's epic.
It's epic, and that you can't buy that shit.
No.
You know, I think books and traveling, and kids, and a family, and all of those things are flowers that grow off of the tree of harmony.
They are, and in fact, but because there's a body attached to it, you know what I mean? It's something recognizable. Whereas when you're talking about, to put it your way, the tree of harmony, when you're talking about that state of being, it's so hard to talk about because it's an experience. It's not something that you can say, oh, I'll do this tomorrow. It's an action. It's a state of consciousness that somewhat is very real, and at the same time is very, you can't quite see it.
I have noticed that synchronicities seem to happen happen at greater rates if I have disciplined myself, if I'm putting myself in a place where I'm being more and more disciplined. Coincidences, synchronicities, and good luck seem to follow that. Whereas if I let myself get scattered and splayed out and mushed around, then that's when bad luck follows and everything seems to be against me.
Yeah.
So... You know, it's almost... Actually, I think that it's really funny if you read I've been reading the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali, and it's interesting because they say, just pick something to meditate on. It doesn't even matter what it is. It can be tits. It can be tits. Or pick a fucking bucket. I think they use the example of a teapot. But this is not the sutras themselves. This is the, what do you call it? The purports.
Commentary, right.
The commentary. Yeah. So it's like, pick anything. And if you focus on it enough, you will, through that focus, get to the atomic level of the thing. And through getting to the atomic level of the thing, you will get to the part of the thing that connects with every single thing else, and you'll merge into everything else and gain understanding. So in that way, I think there is something to be said for being like, I'm going to write a book, or I'm going to get in really good shape, or I'm going to I'm going to learn a language, or whatever the thing is that requires constant discipline. I think it is a good thing to pick, because then through that you'll find the transcendent, you know?